So this is a video that I've been, meaning to put out a long time ago. Every time I thought of putting it up, something or another kept coming in, so kept postponing it. I wanted to put an article, wanted to put a blog, Google review, video, but just something or another kept coming in, so I kept postponing. Finally today I decided, put it and get it over with. You know this, what happened to, the journalist Jamal Khashoggi, okay? So he had gone into the consulate and the Saudi guys were waiting for him there and he was killed. Now, the reason he was killed is because he used to put up these controversial videos and he used to talk against the Saudi monarchy. Now, I always had the thought back of my head, like, I'm not speaking against the UAE monarchy, but I am putting up the controversial, truthful videos about UAE. So, what if I had gone to an embassy, what would have happened? Or I had gone to a consulate. So that thought was always back of my head. And then Princess Latifa's incident took place where she went, tried to escape, and then Sheikh Mohammed got in touch with, or the UAE authorities got in touch with the Indian authorities, and they, jointly ensured that Princess Latifa was sent back. It's a very high level thing. You cannot stop it from happening, even if people say it's human rights abuse or whatever. So I always had the thought that one day maybe someone would just come and try to assassinate me. And you'd not believe this, but even though I stay on an island of Samui, I've had many episodes where I bumped into guys from UAE. I actually bumped into guys. It happened at a supermarket. It happened even once. This is before I got married. I had gone to a happy ending massage. So, and there, after I finished my ting tongs, whatever, when I came out, this guy said, "Oh, you Loy, right?" And I was like, that pronunciation is Arabic. So I said, "Yes." He's saying, "You're from Sharjah?" And then I was like, "Yes." I was like, shit, who is this? And it turned out to be a person from Sharjah who stayed near me, and he knew me, and he used to watch my videos. Emirati guy, huh? So I was like, shit, man. And fortunately, it was pretty cool. And those days, I didn't have many videos. I don't know how would he have reacted if he found out that I had put up videos. So I always had this thought back of my head that there's a possibility that I can bump into an Emirati. There's a possibility that someone who doesn't like my stuff might prove angry or something. I have bumped into people in airports who said, I've seen your work, I've seen your answers. Some people say, like, I'm your fan, I admire your work. But then again, you do not know when something bad is going to happen. So I always dreaded the day I would have to go to an Indian consulate or any consulate, and what if there is an assassination team waiting for me there? So that day actually arrived, and the day arrived when my passport, the book that I had, the passport, the pages got over, when they stamp, when you go in, out, or so the pages got over and I needed to get a new passport. So I was like, shit, now what do I do? And I started sending people I knew messages. I started getting in touch with people. Obviously, like everyone else, I went to Google, did research. Okay, consulate in Thailand, renewal of Indian passport, new booklet, procedure. Now, the one thing which I saw across the board, was that the service was absolutely bad. Everywhere I checked, there was a negative review about the Indian consulate. Negative review. You can go to Google reviews right now, and there you'll find plenty of negative reviews, plenty. I was like, oh boy, what do you expect? Negative reviews. Indian government bureaucracy, you know, those are the images that you get in your head. Indian government bureaucracy, red tapeism, you know, they'll not give a damn about work, about service. They'll just make you stand there and wait, and while they'll be maybe playing a computer game or talking. It's common with all government service providers, you know. So I was like, oh, fucking hell. And after I checked the Google reviews and found quite a number of negative reviews, I was mentally prepared. This is going to be a really bad experience. Okay. And then I checked with other people online, and even they said the same thing, that you're going to have a miserable experience. They're going to make you wait. They will be rude. You know, so everything was negative. So I was like, fuck. And then on top of that, I had the fear that if I go there, who knows, some UAE hitman or Saudi hitman or some Indian appointed hitman would be waiting for me to assassinate me. So I'm not joking, but I mentally prepared myself for my assassination. I'm not joking. Huh? I mentally prepared myself to be killed. And how did I do that? I informed some of my friends. You know, Facebook has this legacy account where after you die, the person who you appointed as a legacy person will take over your account just to make sure it's closed properly. Then my bank accounts, I gave all the information to my wife, all the access. I even told my wife, if in case something happens, just take over. And she was like worried. And I told her, you know, I didn't tell her that I was going to get assassinated. Just told her, and I had written everything down. So I had mentally prepared as if I would go and not come back. But obviously you can make out, since I'm talking, I did come back alive. But at that time I was like, I'm going to get assassinated. So, okay, that was the first part. The second part was, okay, I had to know where the hell is this location, because I didn't know where it was located in Bangkok. I needed directions. I needed to know what documentation. And given that there were such bad reviews about the Indian consulate, I was like, these people will not even call, they'll not even send an email. But anyway, let me see. So I sent a very polite email with specific questions. And, you know, I thought to myself, okay, let's see, we'll get an answer. But then it just struck me, okay, fine, before sending this email, let me at least call and try to see, does any miracle take place? So I called up, and as usual, it goes to an automated voice machine. I tried again and again and again. It kept going to an automated voice machine. Finally, I got fed up. I was like, see, they were right. So I left a message with my name and number, and that was it. And then the email, I sent it across, and I also mentioned I tried to get in touch with you through the voice machine. It just went to an automated, and I was being polite because I didn't want to sound pompous. And that was it. I never expected any call. And I told my wife, listen, I don't think they're going to call me back. Let's just fly down and figure out. I think somewhere around the following day, I'm not too sure. The following day, or yeah, I think it was the following day, I was going about doing my things, and I actually got a call. You know, from a local Thai number. Picked it up. Sorry, I'd given it to my wife, because whenever there's a local Thai number, I don't talk. I give it to my wife. My wife took it, and the person across the phone was speaking in a language, and my wife gave it to me. Said, oh, speaking English. I said, okay. I took it, and I said, yes. And the guy at the other end of the phone, he said, yeah, hi, received a inquiry, your questions, and wanted to answer them. And I was like, okay. And this guy went on and answered every question that I had put there. Every question, huh? And he not only gave me the answer, he gave me the alternative to my question. He gave me alternatives, he gave me solutions. Everything was detailed, okay? And then he said, I also have sent you the entire conversation we had. I'm sending you in an email. If there is anything, please feel free to get in touch with me, okay? I was like, huh? Okay, so I just told him, listen, man, just out of curiosity, who in the world are you? Like, you know, I don't mean it in a bad way, like, you know, just who are you? Because I'm really surprised. He said, why? I said, first and foremost, in an Indian consulate, I never expect any good service because everything is negative on Google reviews. And, you know, you're being so nice. And so he just told me his name is Abdul Haseeb. Abdul Haseeb, and he works for, you know, that service provider for the Indian consulate, whatever. So I said, okay. I thought he must be a receptionist or must be one of those, you know, workers, you know. So I was like, hey, I'm very impressed, man. Really appreciate. And, yeah, I told him I'll definitely leave a positive review for you to your boss. Because obviously the guy is working in a small position, should tell his manager. So we had another 2-3 more correspondences up and down. And he was really nice. Very nice guy, very professional. But back of my head, you know, that Khashoggi thing was still there. Maybe this is a setup. Okay. So took all the information. Flew down there, still not knowing what is going to happen. Took a cab, and even in the cab I had problems with the directions. Called that guy again, he gave directions. Finally, I landed at the consulate. Now at the consulate, it was a big building. Down below, after I walked in, oh, the flood of Indians. There were so many Indians. I was like, oh, sheesh, this must be India. I seen Sardars, I think mainly Sardars, and mainly guys from the north. I was like, wow, this is quite a big, huge Indian crowd. And yes, I knew I was in India because that smell of India, I don't know, there's that distinct, pungent, I don't know if you call it curry smell, but you know, it's like India. I don't know, it's a musky body odor. And then obviously the guys were all hairy arms and, you know. So, well, I was like, okay, welcome to India. And then I could see obviously my Indian aunties and saris, and I was like, oh, okay, India. And they all were looking at me, who the fuck is this freak? I was like, okay, I'm in an Indian crowd, okay. So I just kept quiet. And there, yes, I saw some Somali, Sudani, African people. They were down at the reception filling up the forms. So asked them for directions, asked them which part of the floor, I can't remember now, but went to the 6th floor or 12th floor or whatever. At particular elevators that go to floor above, you know, mid-range 15 and above, or 12 and above, and then 30 and above, or whatever. Okay, so went in the elevator, finally came to the office. Outside there was this security lady in Thai. She was there. And okay, I saw a line, and I knew that I was at the right place. So I informed that lady, I'm here to do all this documentation, whatever. Very polite. She told me where to stand. Now I stood there, and there I was watching all these people. They were Indian and Thai, sitting across the counter. And I was watching them, observing them, and they were very specific with their work, to the point. Like, they would look at the document really fast and say, you need to do this. Like, very systematic. And at a speed, like some of them were not even sitting down. They were standing and looking at the documents and doing it fast. So I was like, okay, they seem to be really engaged in their work. They seem to be really focused. So it was nothing like what I'd seen, not what I'd read. They were not disrespectful. They were to the point. They were pretty systematic. Still not assassinated, by the way. So, okay. And then, you know, it's clearly written in that place, please switch off your mobile phones, no taking videos, no chatting, no using. They have made rules very clear. But to my surprise, even though they put these rules up there, don't speak on the phone, no, taking videos or whatever, there were still people there who were taking their calls, who were, chatting, we're doing all kind of stupid stuff. And I kept watching the security lady, this Thai. She kept going to the person saying, please stop your call. The guy would say, okay. And he would say, okay. And he would continue speaking on the phone. And it is not just one. It was like 2, 3 people. You go again, they say, okay, please. Yeah. No respect for the rules, no respect for the law. And I got irritated. So kept telling them, then finally they would walk out. And when they speak on the phone, they are so bloody loud. I have no idea what is it with our Indians and talking loudly on the phone. I remember when my mother and my stepfather used to get these calls from India. You know, those days it was not a mobile phone. It was a landline with a wire, telephone, normal telephone. My parents would scream and shout on the phone. Why? Because you're speaking to someone in India, so you have to talk loudly. Someone locally is close, right? Someone in India is very far. So they would scream loudly. Yes, okay, don't worry. So I was like, oh, okay. So if you speak to someone locally, talk low volume. But someone from India, you have to shout. So the same thing these guys are doing, shouting on the bloody phone, man. And I was like, fucking hell, it was so irritating. And some of these guys, no respect. They would keep their smelly feet on the chair. Some of them would be snoring. I was like, man, this is not the way to behave. And it's clearly mentioned no eating. Some of them would actually eat like popcorn or chewing gum. You don't have any fucking respect for the law. And then I was like, you know, you behave like fucking assholes. And I'm sure these very same people, when they'll be corrected, these are the very same people who will go and bitch about and complain about, oh, this consulate is not good, their service is not good. So I was like, fucking hell. So, okay. And in some cases, I even saw people when they were going in line, they were talking rudely to the person on the counter. They were actually trying to raise their, why you didn't tell me before this, that. What's wrong with you, man? So the staff were polite, but this is what I saw. The staff were polite, but the people who were going to go for their services were raising their voice and being very disrespectful. So for me, you know, I'm very respectful about the rules. When they got my documentation, that lady looked at me twice though, because I looked different and I had an Indian passport, but she didn't say anything. Very fast, very, very fast. Okay, I had all the documentation required. I had made one mistake in her documentation and she had told me what to do. Okay, so after I finished everything, I then asked her, like, I would like to meet your colleague, Abdul Haseeb. His name is Abdul Haseeb. So can you please tell me where should I go? Whom should I, where can I meet this guy? I was expecting this guy to be a junior staff. I was expecting this guy to, yeah, one sec, let me go to this lady who is throwing garbage. Sorry, go. So that's a garbage collector. Means she takes recycled stuff. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so I thought I would meet this guy sitting somewhere, you know, maybe a junior staff or something. So when I asked for him finally, she said, yes, please have a seat, please wait, we'll call, we'll speak to Abdul Haseeb for you to meet him. I said, okay. So waiting to meet this junior guy. Finally, the guy came, well dressed, very smart looking, and I was like, oh, maybe this must be a manager or something. So I said, hi, how are you? I'm here to meet Abdul Haseeb, if I can just meet him. He said, yeah, that's this way, please. So I said, okay. He took me to an office that was there inside, and and I was looking forward to meet this assistant. So then finally I sat down on a big table. Okay, my dog is barking. I need to shut my dog up. Wait. Like I told you, these videos are unscripted. Annie, give this lady all the bottle, everything. Hey, Brownie. Wait, I need to assist. Just give me a moment. Brownie, Sorry guys. You can either keep watching or you can forward to you can forward to the later part of the video. This is life of being an unscripted YouTuber. So I was saying that you know,
1 minute.
yeah, give a 1 minute. Hey. Crazy, right? I keep this unscripted. Like I said, you can fast forward to a little bit later if you find it boring. Okay, anyway. Okay? So, Annie, I'll just make sure that she gives her something to drink at least. She's working in the sun, right? This is life. My house and my life. 1 second. Annie? Annie, give us something cold to drink, huh? Okay? So, yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. So what I was saying was, so he took me into this large office, made me sit down. As you know, there was one guy at the, I think, left-hand side. One guy at the left-hand side and one guy, you know, face-to-face. So I thought maybe the guy at the left-hand side was him. So the guy, well-dressed guy, sat down. And then, as he sat down, so I looked at the guy sitting on the small table at the side. So I said, Abdul Haseeb. And the guy in the front said, no, I'm Abdul Haseeb. So I was like, huh? You? So I said, what are you, some kind of manager or something? He said, yeah, I'm in charge of this place, this operations, in charge of the whole place. So I was like, okay, let me get this straight. You are the boss here, and you are the one who is communicating with me all this while. You are the one who is responding to all my queries, and you are the one who is making sure that I had a great time. And he said, yeah. So I'm saying, why? Something, anything not right? Or so I was like, fucking hell, man. It's like you being the boss, you didn't delegate it to someone else. You did it yourself. So he said, yeah. So I was really impressed. I was very impressed that, you know, the guy who is supposed to be the boss, instead of delegating the responsibilities to someone else, he took it on his own hands to make sure that I was given a good service. And the thing that baffled me the most out of all this was, not once did he try to, you know, indicate that, oh, I'm the boss, I run the place, you know. He never tried to indicate that he was the big man. He made it like so selfless, like, you know, I'm here to guide you, I'm here to give you service. So then I just sat with him for a few minutes, because obviously he's a guy who's busy. So I just asked him questions like, you know, what about the negative reviews? He says, we try to do our best to give them a positive experience, but you can't please everyone. I was like, fuck, this is so crazy, you know. Somebody does a good job, nobody talks about it. But if somebody were to do a bad job, they literally make sure that everyone knows about it. They'll write about it, they'll talk about it. So I was like, this is wrong. And you know, I'll tell you, the guy was a gentleman. He was really good. He did whatever I needed. He made sure that all my queries were answered. And in the end, you know, I had to come back again after a month and collect my documentation. All the while, he was there to guide me. And yes, I did leave the premises without being assassinated. And it felt good to be alive. So the point of the whole video was to share with you. One is, okay, I didn't get an assassination attempt. That is number one. But the second part is that, you know, the second part is These guys, you know, government agencies and all that, yes, there are some who are bad, but all of them are not bad. There are some really good gems. There are really some educated people out there who work in these government agencies and are really polite, really nice. They really go out of their way to, you know, provide the best service for you. And the sad fact is these people are like these unsung heroes. Nobody talks about them. Nobody praises them. Nobody writes about them. However, if there's a mistake or there's something wrong, people will write, they'll talk, they will spread the message. And here's the biggest thing of them all. You remember I told you, the people who are there, they were talking on the phone, they were breaking rules, they were disrespecting the people at the counter, they were giving them a bad feedback. It's really sad that these people who visit these premises, they don't know how to behave. And you know, none of these government companies, they can write about these guys. Okay, this man, he came here, he didn't know how to behave. This other lady who came here, she was causing a tantrum, she was disrespectful. They can't write or talk about them anywhere. But on the other hand, these people behind the counter, they are expected to behave. So it's not fair and it's not right. In my personal opinion, what I saw with my own eyes that day, these people don't know how to behave. I've always lived with this theory that the world is not perfect, but if you have manners, if you have tact, if you have common sense, you can get the best out of the other person across the table. And for me, my experience with the Indian Consulate was really good. It was really amazing. Very professional, very nice. You know, okay, the smell was always there, but not in the consulate, okay? This is me being an asshole. Anyway, I'm talking of the crowd that was there. But at the Indian Consulate, I would say their service was perfect. They knew their job very well. Each and every staff was really good. They spoke to the point, they guided me properly. And the magnum opus, the climax of this whole thing was the leader, this guy, Abdul Haseeb. Very nice guy, very, very nice guy. Amazing leader, amazing human being. He didn't try to bend or flex his muscle that I'm the manager, I'm the boss, I'm the big guy here. No, he was so humble. It was so Japanese, like, you know, that, you know, literally he came and met me at the door. He came and left me out. And I was blown away by that level of service. So I thought I would share this experience with you. Let me know in the comment section below, have you had a good service in a government agency, or have you had a bad experience? Do you think these reviews are correct? Do they hold merit? Or, you know, is it just one-sided? And most importantly, if someone does a good job, do people talk about it, or is it only when you do a bad thing that people talk about? So I'm very interested to know your views. And through this video, I just want to say a big thank you to Abdul Haseeb and his team. And yes, a very big apology. I had delayed this video so long. I delayed this feedback, which I was supposed to give for so long. I'm glad that I was finally able to give it. I just want to say thank you. It is people like you that make, you know, India proud. And I'm glad that there are professionals like you working in the government sector who go out of their way to make sure that the normal citizens get a, exceptional service. So guys, this was my experience with the Indian Consulate. Let me know your thoughts below. And yeah, spread the word. And let's always congratulate these unsung heroes. This is me signing off for now. Take care.